Hi everyone, I'm JE here on Awakening Dawn. How are you guys doing? What's going on with you guys? So, I recorded a video on the COVID-19 coronavirus a few weeks ago, and I did an update. Where are we going from there? It was a short video, but I did that yesterday, so I've uploaded it to the channel. And I'm also going to share both of those links in this video so that you don't have to go fish for them. That way you can watch them. But the first video was the energies around the COVID-19. And the second video that I recorded yesterday is we're talking about where we moving from here. So I feel like what I was picking up when I did that reading yesterday was that they're trying to figure things out, and they are trying to figure things out as to how to reopen the economy, how to get things back in the moving and going and groove. And a lot of it is still in the unknown. Okay. Um, there was I picked up a lot of fear to the vast people because there's a lot of new normals now. When you go into the stores, when you go into everything you do, everything has been affected. And so I'm sure we all have our own individual story, but I recorded that video and I said that I would share with you my experience that I've faced during this epidemic, during this pandemic, and I don't want this to be a long video. And I'm going to share and tell you my truth. And then if you want, you can email me your truth at awakeningdawn44@gmail.com. And what I will do is I will create a video, and probably next Monday or Tuesday, I will launch that video, depending on how many emails, if anyone emails me back. And I will launch that video. I'm not going to say your name. I'm not going to tell them your name, your email. You're very discreet. I'm just going to read what you tell me. And then we will talk about it. We're going to have a talk about it. You can comment on that video if you like. You'll be able to comment on that video, but I'll tell you more at that time. But I'll come back and I'll read you some of the stories that some people have gone through in their experience. And we're just building a community in a network here on Awakening Dawn. I look at us as family. I used to have a channel, Essence of Awakening, and I feel like I outgrew that channel for some reasons that I will share with some of you later on as we get to know each other a little bit better, as to the reason why I separated from Essence of Awakening. Okay. But so this is new. This channel is new, a couple months in, and I have another channel, Essence of Love, that's a couple months in. So make sure you should support both by subscribing to both channels. I do appreciate that. So without getting off topic, my experience during this pandemic. First of all, I'm JE if I didn't say so. But what I do on YouTube or any social platform, this is like part-time. This is my passion. This is what I love to do. I love to do things to help people and to kind of give back to people. So this is what I do. I do readings on the YouTube platform, but I do have a 9-to-5. So my professional career is in the medical industry. And in my professional, I work for a corporate office, in administration in the corporate realm. And so I got an offer. I was with the company for a couple of years, and I got an offer to transition to work at another company. And it was at the tip of this COVID-19 when it was starting to be exposed, so to speak. And so I was offered this position to work for this other company, and it would be a work from home type of, job. And I'm like, okay, well, this is beautiful for me because then I can have more time to cater to when I'm not working. I can take my downtime and put more time into my business, because when you work a 9-to-5 or 9+ hours a day, it's hard for you to try to do a side job or a side gig, right? So I thought it was a blessing for me, right? So I took it. I was kind of skeptical about it because I did a reading. I did a reading about this job, so I can't be mad at nobody but myself, beloved. I did a reading and I saw the pluses with this job, but I also saw there was going to be a tower moment. Me being me, oh, I can overcome that challenge. I should have read a little bit deeper and I didn't. That was my fault. Because but I did ask the company. I said, okay, we have this COVID-19 situation going on, pandemic. What's the chances of me staying on this job? And I was told, oh, no, don't worry. You're working remote, so it's not going to affect those that are working remote. Long story short, it affected me because on August, April 6th, we had this conference call, and it was a bunch of us on that conference call, and we were told that we would be terminated from the company. So I went from security, secure income, to my security net being taken away from me, right? And I didn't panic. I didn't panic right away, beloved. I didn't panic. It was just like I kind of already knew it. It's like I already knew it was going to happen. I was just waiting for it to happen. And I didn't kick myself. I didn't beat myself up about it. I didn't. So, that was that. That was one of my experiences, that I lost my source of income. Okay. My sole source of income. But I also do on the side, I do, because I love to sit with the elderly. I love to care for the elderly. So sometimes I go and I'll sit with them, those that are lonely and things of that sort. I'll go sit with them. I'll help them, whatever I can do to be of service. Well, when this change came about, this pandemic change came about, I wasn't able to visit. And I had a client that I adored. I used to go sit with her every Saturday, just about Saturday mornings. And I adored her. I adored her. And she was at the end of life. And this wasn't due to the COVID-19, but she was at her end stages of life. So I felt bad because her family is a close-knit family, very close. And so it bothered me because her daughter, when you are in like assisted living facilities, nursing home facilities, retirement home facilities of that sort, during this time, you're restricted of visits. So not everyone, your immediate family, no family, friends, no one can visit. Even the people that are housed in that facility can't visit. So during the time of her experience of my client's demise, it was sad because her daughter couldn't see her. And so we were her source of communication to tell her, your mom is okay, XYZ, your mom is this, your mom day is this. So it was by text messages or video chatting with her mom, right? So that was an experience because she didn't get to spend that last time with her mom. She didn't get to spend that last part of life with her mom. So that touched me, right? Going to the supermarket to buy essentials. Some of you heard me say it in videos, you might have thought it was funny, but I couldn't find, and it's still this way where some of the aisles are very scarce when it comes down to certain things, even food. Certain aisles are very scarce, and I had to change my mindset to say, okay, I'm not going to the store. Normally I go to the store every other day. That just my typical shopping because I like to buy fresh chicken, like rotisserie chicken is my thing. So I like to buy it, carve it, make chicken salads or whatever I want to make. I like to make a barbecue chicken pizza on a tortilla. I'm going to do some cooking with JE tutorials for you guys very soon. Maybe once things start to smooth out a little bit and I can get back into a routine and things start to simmer down for me, I would love to do that with you. Like I said, I want to show you about my hair. I want to do a lot of things with you guys at some point. That is my goal. But anyway, back on topic. And I'll talk about how to do that pizza later. That'll be a video that I'll do for you guys, okay? But anywho, there's things that I like to buy. So when you go to the store and you can't find everything, and then you see these, 6 feet, these 6 feet tapes in the aisle, I'm watching this because I'm one that I'm very observant. I may not say a lot, but I'm very observant. So I'm watching this. I'm watching that there's no traffic. I live in a city. There's a lot of traffic. There's no traffic barely on the streets. Good thing most of the time because I used to fuss all day long when there was traffic, but hardly any traffic. You see certain restaurants in areas where it normally is booming and there's a lot of energy, a lot of people. There's none because you can't dine in. So there's not a lot of that. And so just looking at the new norm is puzzling. It's puzzling. And then one day I think I went to get something to eat, and I ordered the food, and I just saw how everything was set up in the restaurant. They had the hand sanitizer, they had the gloves so that if you touched anything, but then I saw where the workers didn't have on gloves, and which I thought they should have had on gloves, but they had it for the people that were coming in. It was just like, okay, I'm very observant. I'm watching this. I'm watching. Then I had to go ship off some equipment. So the job that I was working from home. I had to return their equipment, right? So I had to go to FedEx, return their equipment. And as I went to return the equipment, their whole process has changed too. It was like, fill out this form, put the stuff over here, we'll ship it. Well, how do I know it's going to get there? They didn't give me anything. How do I know it was going to get there? Then they had me with all this equipment standing outside. I'm standing, then 6 feet from me, the next person is standing, and then you can't touch the door. There's the person there at the door with their glove and mask on. They only let so many people in at a time, and then you go in. And when your chance to go in, then when I went in, you're filling out the paper and you throw the stuff down, you leave it, and then they'll text you or email you when it's been shipped. So that was a process. That was an experience for me. So then having to make phone calls to make arrangements for things is an experience, because now a lot of businesses, they're inundated with phone calls due to this pandemic, due to the situation. So if that's not stressful, right? On top of, I wasn't feeling well a couple of times. I wasn't feeling well, but I have sinus problems. So then you start to panic yourself. You start to second guess yourself. Okay, do I got the Rona? Okay, did I catch the Rona? Because I just coughed right then. Oh man, did I get the Rona? My eyes are itchy. What is going on here? Okay, so then you start thinking, and I have a younger grandchild, and so I haven't really been spending a lot of time with her because of my situation. I didn't want to expose anything. So it's just like everything is changed. Everything has changed and things are changing, right? I live near a place where not too far from me is the port to where the cruise ships come in. And I see this one big ship that's been there for a month. And I'm like, my Lord, this is so unusual. Then you go around the corner, you see the other ships where you never see ships there. The only time you see ships there is when they're docking in the morning to return passengers, to clean up that thing and then send it on back out. So you never see ships just sitting there. They're in rotation. So that's awkward to me. I went to another restaurant, and now I'm seeing a lot of the restaurants where they have the glass window there in front of the person that's at the register. But they don't have, but the people that's doing the food, they don't have on masks, they don't have on nets, they don't have. So I'm observing this. Like, okay, well, is this our new norm? So if we're changing, what are we really changing, right? I love to go to this one restaurant to get coffee in the morning. And so you drive up to the window, you order the coffee. And it's weird because when I drive past and I look inside, you normally see people there in the morning having breakfast, etc., etc. Well, you see now all the tables are stacked. And then you go, you place your order, and they have, even at the drive-through now, the glass window, and some will put out the debit machine, the machine for you to put your card in. That way, there's no contact. Okay, and then some will have on gloves at the window, which is fine. Protect yourself. I'm not against that. But then when you see the other ones in there, they don't have a gloves and mask that's making your food. So, okay, so what are we doing here? What are we really doing here? One of my friends told me, we were talking about it one morning, because sometimes we talk in the morning, and she was telling me she was at one of the larger stores, going in there to get her bulk of food, because she goes and buy bulks of things, and they only let 30 people in at a time. So she thought they opened it at 7, which ideally they used to, but now I guess they open at 9. So she just sat in the parking lot for 2 hours. We talked on the phone. Finally, she went in there. But when she went in there, she was so disappointed because they didn't have anything. So it was like for 2 hours sitting, waiting. Only 30 people can go in, not to have anything. Frustrating, right? Frustrating. So this is our new norm. And then, like, how long before this process stops? Like, how long, and what's to come from this new process? Because they still, every day you hear on the news, and it doesn't matter which news channel you turn to, that they found this drug, but then the next time there's nothing that's working. And the next time they found this or that, and now this is not working. Certain states are going back, opening back up, and then certain states, they're not opening back up. It's so much. And JE is a strong person. Not Friday past, but the Friday before that, I had a meltdown. Like, I was very sensitive, very emotional, very sensitive, very emotional. And because it was just overwhelming to me. It was very, very overwhelming. And I don't like to feel overwhelmed. Okay. I can deal with a lot. I've dealt with a lot, but I don't like to feel a sense of overwhelmed energy, because when I feel overwhelmed, it drains me. It literally it drains me. And so, I was really overwhelmed. I was so overwhelmed. And I'm like, okay, God, you got to come show out. You got to come through, because one thing I don't want to lose is my faith. I was raised on faith. I was built on faith. From my grandmother to my ancestors to my mother to my friends, faith is what I stand on. Now, I know you guys see me, you know me from cards and all of that, and reading the energies of the cards, but faith is my base. Faith is my base. That's what I have to stand on. I may even pick up a card and read it and tell you, but still at the end of the day, I have to trust and believe in the benevolent Father. I have to. That is my substance. That's the core. And so I'm like, Lord, I don't want to start doubting you. I don't want to start getting into that, because that's an uncomfortable space for me. So I had a meltdown. And I had to get myself, back to a more comfortable state. But, God is saying to me, we're being scratched. And through this scratching of what's going on, we still have to stay steadfast and believe and trust that everything's going to work out okay, even when it doesn't seem like it's going to work out okay. So, being that I went out, and as I said, I do sit with some people, and sometimes I do that, I enjoy it. I always done it. I enjoy it. I come from a history of my mother was a nurse. My grandmother was a nurse. So I come from that background. I come from a large family where we have nurses and things like that, healthcare industry. So on both sides, on the clinical side and on the professional side, that's my profession. And so both is being tested and challenged right now. So I had a mask. I said this in the Where Do We Go From Now video, where I created my own mask. Honey, I have some masks, but it was kind of hard to find masks. And so I know a couple of people that are making them, but it's like they're so inundated with masks. So I was like, okay, I don't want to bother her because I know she's doing, so I'm going to try to make my own. Now, let me tell you something. I may be good at some things, but I'm not good at all things. Now, I know I should have paid more attention in home economics. Maybe I should have maybe through this, I'm going to go and take me a sewing class, because I said in that COVID-19 coronavirus video how I made my own mask, and I was going to take some pictures of it, which I did. And I said I was going to post it on my community page, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to show you in this video. Okay, I'm going to show you in this video what I came up with, and honey, I'm still making them. And one time, honey, it was just a mess. So I've made total of 4, and I've threw out 2. I got one here that I'm getting ready to throw out, and I have one over there that I use when I'm going out. And honey, that was a pickle too, so I may show y'all that one. I may take a picture and put that one on one day for you guys. But yeah, so it's just a struggle, because now it's like, okay, I don't have my job, my source of income. I don't have that, right? Everything's changed. Everything has changed and there's no progressive of moving forward. Even though I see it in the cards, it's coming, but there's still going to have to be a rebuilding of this, right? People aren't just going to bounce back just because the economy opened. It's going to take time for everything to really start to speed up. It's just like, okay, it's going to take time for things to speed up. So anyway, I'm going to show you my mask. That is my experience through this COVID-19. That is my experience through the coronavirus episode or pandemic experience. That's my experience. And, to listen to me and my close acquaintances when we talk about certain things that they're experiencing. I want to share this with you too. I did share it in the coronavirus Where Do We Go From Now video, but I'll share it here too. I have a close friend of mine that her significant other had a stroke the week before last, and once she met him there at the hospital, the ER, of course now you can't go up with your loved one, so she still hasn't seen him. The only thing that she can do is talk on the phone, ask the nurses, and it's just like, okay, is this our new norm? Like, how long is this going to be? Because now you listen to the news, they're talking about this thing, even going on until 2021. Some of them saying that there may be a new twice as harsh than this year in the winter. And it's like, okay, before we put the cart before we put the horse. This is my logic, okay? And this is probably because I have air in my chart. But before we put the cart before the horse, let's get through this. Let's get the people back working. I'm not talking about the beaches, and I'm not talking about the movie theater. I'm not talking about the restaurants, unless you're going there to work. But let's get people back to work, right? Let's get them back to work so that they can take care of their loved ones, their families. Then let's talk about opening up everything else. Let's do that, right? And then from that point, let's try to prepare for this next phase. If there's going to be this thing is going to come back in the fall or the winter, then let's talk about it. But right now, let's fix this problem. Let's fix this problem. So it's gotten so bad, I feel like I don't even watch the news. I don't bother with watching the news too much anymore. I turn it on in the morning for a little bit, but then I turn it off because I don't want to watch it. I can't hear that. I get more news, I feel like, if I listen to YouTube or other social platforms. I feel like I get more news from that. Or if I just pray, meditate, and then I, see what the cards is telling me. Because I want to see movement and I want to see progress, right? So I don't want to bore you guys anymore with this, but I want to show you my mask. First, I'm going to I can't put it on now because it came out. One of the screens that came out, so I can't put it in there now. But I'm going to hold it up like this so you guys can see. And yes, this is, well, that side came out too, my Lord. But this is my funny. This is my funny, and this is what I really had on. But this is my mask, right? This is my mask. So these are the screens. Honey, I put yarn. This is yarn, okay? So this is yarn. So you see it, and it came out. It just came out. This is the yarn that came out of my mask. This is the yarn that came out of the mask. You know, this is what I told you I was going to share with y'all, my mask that I made. I don't sew. I don't sew. Okay? I felt that. I felt that. All right? And I'm 45 now. So if I didn't use it and I didn't try to work on that thing, it ain't going to try to make it work now. Anyway, so I told you in that corona virus video, the second one that I recorded, I said how in there I created my own mask because, you know, I just didn't want to bother my people that, because they're making them for like nursing homes and you know, people that are really out there full time in that field. So they were making it for that. So I didn't want to bother them with that. But anyway, honey, I had to start sewing my own and bought the fabric. Bought what I thought that I would need to make a mask, okay, because I had two, but you don't want to keep wearing the same mask. You want to throw it out. Those disposable ones you wear one time, you get rid of it. So I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? So I researched, and they said take a coffee filter or a vacuum cleaner filter or even a air filter and use that. That's good because you don't want anything, if you sneeze, you don't want it to be able to go out of the mask. And if someone sneezes, you don't want it to come inside the mask. So I figured, okay, I can get some coffee filters. I have that, and I can do that, honey. All right. So anyway, I cut out my fabric, and honey, I started sewing with by hand because I don't have a sewing machine, by hand. And yeah, got frustrated. So I was getting frustrated because it wasn't, you know, holding and suction like I wanted. It wasn't tight like I wanted. So then I told my son, I said, go get me the staple. So he went and got the staple. So I started stapling some places in here. I'm trying to find the staples in here. I started stapling some. I think it's way down in here. I started stapling. So then that became frustrating. So I got my sewing kit, and I got the pins, the safety pins, and I safety pinned some, and I took them out of here. But I safety pinned it, so we had staples, thread, and safety pins in order to make my mask. But I want you guys to see the inside of it. You got two different types of thread. You got the white, you have the brown. Honey, this thing was a mess. In here is the in here was the coffee filter. The coffee filter is here, because I did put the coffee filter in there because they said that helps. So I did put the coffee filter here. But honey, that thing is going in the garbage. Now, I do have, let me see, the one that I'm wearing right now. Hold on, I'm going to go get it while we're talking about it. Why not? Why not go and get it, right? So this is the one I have right now. Guys, it's not supposed to be puffy like this. It's not supposed, but this is what I wear right now. This is the one I made yesterday. And along with this one, now, this one also has the filter from the coffee maker. This one also has the thread, the yarn. You see my yarn here. It has the yarn on this side. But it's not supposed to be, it's supposed to be more tight, you know. And I may try to work on it some more tonight. I'll see. But you see this one also has safety pins inside. You see the safety pin? I'm not lying to you now. It has a safety pin. There's another safety pin to hold it together. There's another safety pin to hold it together. Yes, your girl is struggling, but guess what? I'm covered. I'm covered. I am covered. So there you have it. That's my experience. So that's my experience, guys. That's my experience. You have to laugh versus crying. You gotta laugh and not cry, right? You gotta show support to people like yourself, and because what you put out, you want back. So I want that same energy through my experience. We have to be a community. We have to stick together, love on each other, support each other, pray for one another, and all of that. So I'm going to end this video, but if you would like to share your experience by emailing me, I'm going to put it in the description box at awakeningdawn, one word, awakeningdawn44@gmail.com. I will not use your name unless you say use my name. Okay, but I will not use your name. I'm not going to show them the letter. I'm just going to read the letter, and I'll do a video on maybe like a few letters, and then we'll talk about it. You know, we'll talk about it. So we'll figure out how to do that. But I will probably do that video sometime Monday or Tuesday, okay, if I get responses. If I don't, then I won't do the video. And then I'm going to be recording another video in a few weeks, maybe sometime the middle to the end of May, the aftermath of coronavirus. So I did the first one when it first was exposed to us, to kind of see the energies that was around us. And then I did a second video yesterday, moving on from the COVID-19 or coronavirus, and then I will do the aftermath video. So guys, be safe, be well, stay blessed, take care.